Hey guys, welcome back to the Wood and Metal Workshop. I'm Kent. Over on another channel, name of it's escaping me right now. I posted in the comments I was going to do a video on how to properly weld a nut on for removing a broken bolt. Well, that was quite a while ago, and I've been searching for broken bolts. I just haven't found anything, or at least not enough of it, or something that I could work with. Usually you find a rusty hunk of steel with a broken bolt in it, easy peasy, right? Not running into anything right now. So I made up a little sample here where we can show you the best way to do this. So let me get the camera reoriented. We'll get show you, go through how to do this the best way and the easiest way. All right, so we got this set up. Of course, you gotta have all different heights of broken bolts. These are just threaded some 3/8/16 bolts in here, cut them off. Actually, use 2 long bolts anyhow. So the best case scenario is you have some thread sticking up so you can actually thread a nut on it. So we'll do that one first. Pretty simple. Thread the nut on as far as you can. Now you're going to want to turn your welder up for this. So right now I've got mine set at 20 volts and 316 inches a minute. You can do this with any welding process. However, the best process to do this would be TIG if you have TIG and you can access what you're doing with TIG. Actually, old-fashioned gas welding works really good for this, except for it heats up your part a lot, which is a good or a bad thing depending on how you're looking at it. So best case scenario, you can just thread a nut on there and weld it up. If you want to be uber safe, most of these nuts are galvanized. You can pick up nuts that don't have galvanized coating, or you can just drop them in some muriatic acid for a little bit and that'll take the coating off, rinse them off the water, good to go. So let's get this first one welded in here. Helps if you turn your mask on first. There we go. So technique is you're going to want a little, okay, just so you can hear me, I'll go over this first. Technique with a nut is about a 1/4 inch down in there. So you want a little extra stick out, and you're going to try to get right into the center and let it build up to the top edge. So let's give this a shot. Not quite to the top, but you can see we got a lot of heat there. That'll just screw right out now. You've got good contact with the bolt in there, so it should have no problems coming out. See that? Should be 9/16. And take it out, let it cool, and we'll take a look at all these when we're at the end of the video at how we did. Now granted, these aren't stuck. I wish they could be, but they're not. Okay, next one is where you're really down flush with the metal. Putting a nut on here and just welding through it, it's not very good. It's hard to get deep in there. It's hard to get good penetration. So grab yourself a washer. Lay the washer over it. Weld the washer to it. Then grab a nut. Now the way this works, which really helps out, is not only are you giving yourself something to grab onto, you're also heating up that stuck fastener, so it gives you a little bit better chance of getting the stuck fastener out. Okay, next way to do this is if you're, let's go to this one way down here. I'm going to move the camera so you can see a little better. Okay, so that one's flush or a little bit below. We'll just say it's a little bit below. There we go. You can still use this process. You wouldn't want to, you could try the washer, but you want to make sure you don't weld to your base material. So one way to do this just like that. You're going to build it up a little bit. And I still prefer the washer trick myself. Washer. And nut. And right out it comes. So if it's a little bit below, but you can still see it, or a bigger bolt where you don't have to worry about welding to your base material, you can build up the head of that just a little bit and it'll come out. Okay, here's another one. Just pick one of these here. Once again, we're going to use the washer trick. And then you're going to take a coupling nut. If you don't have gloves on, you probably want to do this fairly quick. Okay, and you can weld a coupling nut to your washer. Well, and once again, it'll come right out. Hey, you guys are crooked. Alright guys, so that's the best way to do this. Like I said, if you can use TIG, TIG is great because you got really fine control over the arc. You can really make sure you get good penetration into the broken off bolt, but that washer trick works just about every time. It works better than just welding a nut on. I said we'd take a look at these, so let's see what we got here. Let me grab a hammer. Let's see what damage we can do. Fortunately, I have these nice holes in my table. Do I have one that'll fit that? Of course, I don't have one that'll fit the bolt head. Well, let's just put it like that. Not seeing a whole lot of damage there. Let me let's set up a vise. We'll do it in a vise. Okay guys, got the first one locked in the vise. Okay. Weld didn't break. That was the bolt breaking off, which is exactly what we want. With that kind of heat in it, and I'm going to assume that you've added some kind of lubricant to it just to get it, try to get it loosened up. That's the best we could ask for. Alright, let's try the one where it's just the nut welded on. See, what do we get that time? Once again, just the bolt broke off again. The nut is still welded to it. Like I said, that's my least favorite way of doing it. Okay, this would be the one where it was a little deeper in there, and we built up the stud. Once again, grab it so you can see it. There we go. Okay, so once again, we broke the stud off, not the weld. And last but not least is our coupling nut. Now this is going to be a little bit weaker because the coupling nut is not welded to the stud. It's welded to the washer, which is welded to the stud. And once again, there we go. We broke the stud, not the weld. So alright guys, there you go. Best way to weld a nut is to use a washer. If you can. If you can't, you can't. But that is always my go-to for welding nuts on. Alright guys, thanks for watching, thanks for subscribing. If you like what we did here today, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button, give us a thumbs up. Got any comments about removing broken bolts? We're going to do some more videos on broken bolts in the future, as soon as I find some. I'm not going to make up more of these to do this. This was a good rig for welding on, but it's not actually good for any of the other methods. So, catch you in the next one.